Alright guys, here we go. Another week of shed hunting here in 2023. This week the snow came back. Had a pretty big storm cell move through Iowa. But luckily a lot of the areas I like to shed hunt didn't get hit too hard. Some of them did, but some of them didn't, so that's the good news. And I don't think that the amount of snow that we got in those areas is enough to really impact our shed hunting. Just gonna pull over here for a second and let you guys know that this is the giveaway shed for this week. Pretty nice 4-point, and basically how the giveaway shed works, if you're not familiar, is it's going to be at some point in the video, so make sure you keep an eye out for it. If you see it, comment the time code that it's in the video, and if you are the first person to comment the time that it is in the video, I will pin your comment at the top of the comment section, and you will win this shed as well as a custom antler anchor to display the shed in the wall. And I also need to get a shed tag on it here, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. And for any of you that are new to the channel, well, if you enjoy deer hunting, shed hunting, or turkey hunting, and doing it while on a working class schedule, well, this is the channel for you. So please make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also hit the bell so you can be notified when we drop more videos, especially if you're interested in winning some giveaway sheds. The farm I'm heading over to now is actually a farm that I got permission to shed hunt last year. Found a few, can't hunt it, but it's a pretty good shed hunting farm, and it's not far from where I work. On my way home sometimes what I'll do is I'll drive by and I'll see that there's a lot of deer hitting a field not too far from it. That's good news because there's still a food source in that area this time of year that those deer are congregating to. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find quite a few sheds. I could be wrong. Less than 50% could be dropped. You know, I could be hitting the worst spots possible. But at the end of the day, I just enjoy getting out. So let's see what happens. Okay, I was just walking up here along this field edge and happened to turn and look right here, and right there off the field edge in the cut beans, this is the first shed of the day. Pretty nice shed, just a little guy, but we'll take it. Well, it hasn't been too long since I found that last little one, and I can see one right up here, tines up. Looks like it's already been chewed a little bit. I can see it from here. Looks like a good one though, under this cedar. Oh yeah, that's not a bad one at all. Holy cow. And now we've got ourselves a real nice antler. Ooh, that one might have been last year's. Yeah, actually with that color the way it is, I wouldn't be surprised. That's last year's. Well, that's really good to know because I hit this farm early last year expecting that somebody else would have came in based on what the landowner told me. But it looks like whoever came in after me didn't either do that good of a job cleaning up. Maybe this deer dropped it later than they were here. Or, you know, maybe I can start putting this farm on the back burner until later in the year. Hopefully that's the case. It's pretty good or reassuring that you find an old shed of this size, especially on a farm that I shed hunted early last year. I was anticipating that somebody else who was thorough was going to come in after me. Well, clearly if they came in after me, and assuming they came in after this buck dropped, well, they probably wouldn't have missed this. Now, if they did come in after me and they missed it, maybe they're not as thorough as I'm expecting, which is a really good sign. I'm pretty happy with that. We're still at one old, one new, but you can't beat that. Now let's see if we can find some more. I'm not too far from where I just found that one small one. And then actually the cedar I found, that big one, that old big one, is just right over there. And I've been taking my time moving slow because I've been seeing quite a few deer in this field, like I said, on my way home from work. So I was like, well, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something too far off here. Well, I look over here and on that log right there, I can see what looks like a pedicle. Pulled up my binos right here like this. It's definitely a pedicle. So I'm gonna take a look here, and it is an antler, see? Look at that. All I could see was this. but it's laying on top of that log. But I saw that, I'm like, that looks so much like a pedicle, but I couldn't see how in any way, shape, or form how it's an antler. So right there is number 3 on the day. And I'm actually, we'll see here, but I think that might be the other side to the other one. I suppose we'll find out. I would say that's a match right there. I'll be damned. So there's number 3 on the day. 3 sheds, 2 fresh, 1 old. Second farm of the day, early in the year. Don't get much better than that. Hopefully we can find some more. I was walking down this path right here and looked up. I'm like, dang, that does look like antlers, but there's a couple cedars here that are falling over and you can see their branches. So I pulled up the binos, and you'll be damn right that that is a shed, and it's a nice one. When I pull up the binos, you can definitely tell this is a good one. Right here under these cedars, it's been about 3 hours since we found one. So yes, sir. Huh. Look at that. That is a stud. We ain't letting the snow stop us today. And there's another one right there. Look at that. There's tines right there. There's the second one. And that's another right side right there. 2 right sides that close together. I'll be damned. This one looks a little bit smaller, but it's still a good find. Right here, off that food source, south facing slope, nice ridge that gets some sun. I don't know why a deer wouldn't want to lay here. Don't ask me, because the big boy in the area does, because we just found one of his sheds. Oh man, they don't get much better than that, man. It'd be hard to top that one. And then, well, you know, like I said, 3 hours since we found the last one. Been traversing these ridges right here around the food source, and well, 2 more. That one's from last year, and it's not even chewed that bad. That's weird. We're in the timber here. I would have thought this one would have been chewed up, but that's definitely from last year. That's not the same deer, obviously, but clearly this seems to be a hot spot year in and year out. That's 2 years in a row that a deer has felt comfortable to come in here and drop its shed. Well, we're not going to leave the old one to lay, and we sure as hell ain't leaving the new one to lay. So that's number 5 on the day. I got another one right here. I didn't make it 2, actually. There's 2. That's a match set. That is a dandy match set. I can tell it from here. Look at that mass on that one. Ooh. Just crossed the ridge right there. Come up here. We're in the little pocket of this field here behind me. I get over here, and it doesn't even take 10 yards in the field. While in this field edge, there's a great spot right here, obviously, that these deer are working. Bam, bam, bam. Probably jumped that fence, or was walking to jump that fence, and right before he did so, he dropped them both for me to pick them up. That is awesome. That is freaking awesome. That's 4 antlers, and I don't know, like 40 yards as the crow flies. I mean, with the elevation there was more, but just crossing that ridge coming up, probably 50 yards as the crow flies. But right there, baby, match set. So we were at 5 on the day, and now we're at 6. It's a nice brow tine right there. And 7. And you know what? I think this shed, I think this deer right here, this buck. Now I don't, like I said, I don't run trail cameras on this farm because I don't hunt it. I think that big shed is off of this deer right here, because he looked just like this. He was a 5. He was heavy. He had a little kicker on his base. It was a little bit smaller. You could tell he wanted to do something. His 2 stepped down to his 3, stepped down to his 4. This one's a little bit shorter, but it's heavier. I bet this is the exact same deer. I bet that that is that deer. And we found his shed from last year, and then we found his match set from this year. Gosh, I wish I had pictures, but I could almost guarantee that. What a beautiful set. And he sits high on the head. Sucks that the squirrels chewed it a little bit, but luckily they didn't get this side. This is the better side in my opinion, but they're both good nonetheless. Alrighty, there's 2 more. So in efforts of just starting to look for the other side of that decent one we found over there with the tall G2, we find ourselves another match set. Beautiful. Let's see what else we can find. Here's what I was saying about those sheds. Right here, I think that these sheds, this match set, was off of this old one. Right here. Now, I'm sure there's somebody who's like, oh no, dude, those aren't the same deer. You're gonna have a really hard time convincing me that those aren't the same deer unless you have trail camera pictures to show me otherwise. But I am almost 99% certain, based on the information I have, that that has got to be the same deer. And if it's not, that's crazy that there's 2 deer that have like that similar genetics. You know, when I picked this antler up, I was initially thinking it was probably an older deer, just in the back of my head. And then when I find this antler, that confirms it kind of, because, you know, it looks like he's starting to go downhill. It looks like he probably actually would have scored a little bit more here. Kind of representative of more of what I would expect, like a 5 this year, going on 6 this year, or maybe it's a 6 going on 7, but I don't think he's 3 going on 4. And then his other side, it looks like he's kind of just a 4 with a big brow. Really nice set of sheds, and cool story that we were able to find 3 sheds off of this deer in one day. That's pretty uncommon. Snow's really starting to come down hard now. Hopefully it doesn't snow too much more. I think it was supposed to stop here right about the time it gets dark. That would be ideal, because otherwise it could mess up the plans the rest of the weekend if we get a lot. I personally believe that it's easier to look for sheds when there's a small layer of snow versus when it's like half snow, half ground. I think that's the hardest. Like, I can see this one from a good ways out, and that's another one down for today. This day's been awesome. We've only got about like 30 minutes of daylight left, and there's a shed right there if you haven't noticed it. And I actually think I recognize that shed because I think I found one of his sides last year. So bingo, there you go. Looks like he was just coming down this path right here, working his way to that same food source. And a lot of the sheds that we found today have had pretty thick tines, and I think that's why they've stood out pretty easy. With this amount of snow, sheds aren't really that hard to find as long as it's completely covered. But if you get like this snow with bare ground, I think that's when it gets really hard to see them, because you'll have like shades of brown with, you know, matching with white. But regardless, it doesn't matter. I'm just glad that we're able to see them. I found a match set on this farm that looks a lot like this frame with a tall brow tine, 4-point. It almost is just the exact same antler scaled down. I would be shocked if it's not the same antler. But yeah, there's another shed for today. So I think that's number 8. I could be way off, but that is a great shed. And I've already been tickled with what we found, but you know, the more the merrier, I guess. So I was just walking looking for the other side of this one. Right here. Look, there's another one right there. And it's not his match side because that's a right side. So we're about 30 yards from where I found this one, walking down this edge. And we got another antler. Holy cow. And they've all been good. I mean, they've all been decent sized. That's ridiculous. It stood out pretty easy because it's propped up just like that. And laying there so nicely for me to find it. Look at that. Pretty fresh. Pretty dang fresh. Yes, sirree. So there is possibly 2 more sheds out there to find. Well, I should say 3, but we're a decent ways away now from that big one that we found earlier. Was just coming down off one of these paths that were up there off that edge that we found these 2. That's why I'm carrying these 2, because I don't have any room in my backpack. And I was walking, I looked down, And right there, we got ourselves a left side. That is probably going to be the match to one of the three. I sure hope that we've already found. Actually, I shouldn't say I hope. It'd be awesome if it's not, but it'll be crazy if it is a different deer. But first, I need to grab a picture here. There's the left side. I'm going to guess it's one of the match sides to the ones that we've already found. It's fresh for sure. That's pretty neat how his G2 bends, and so does his brow tine. He's all bent out of shape. But, yep. Right there. And that makes sense because they really aren't that far apart from each other as the crow flies. So we still got two more right sides that we need to match up, but the task of matching up one of the three is complete. So nice sheds. I'm gonna need a wheelbarrow here on this farm, hopefully. I mean, this is way better than I expected. We'll keep moving. There's still some time left. So remember to keep an eye out for the giveaway shed right there. First person who sees it and comments the correct time that's it's in the video, I will pin their comment at the top of the comment section. That'll be how you know somebody has won, and they will win this shed, and they will also win an antler anchor. So make sure to keep an eye out. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe button, and also hit the bell so you can be notified when we drop more videos. That way you have the best chance to win one of these bad boys. So also, if you're interested in getting shed tags or antler anchors, well, just check it out on my website. I put a link in the description below. Got a lot of colors. I'm telling you, I think you guys will like them. So thank you so much for watching, and until next time.